Virgo 5, a man dreaming of fairies. Are fairies real or not? It's a good question, isn't it? On some level they are not. They cannot be photographed or measured, and scientists will say they exist in the imagination only. Fine, I think we can all agree that reasonably well. But the question is whether or not the imagination is real. And some would easily say, no, it's not. It's imagination. It's different for everybody, and it's not the same from one moment to the next. It's ephemeral and ethereal. Yes, that's true, but that's also true of physical reality as well. It depends on your time frame, doesn't it? Everything in the physical world is only momentary as well, from the point of view of the eternal cosmic truth. It's just a different time dimension that we're studying. So fairies are as real as physical reality in the final degree. Now, fairies are in some ways metaphorical, anthropomorphic images. We turn an energy into the image of a person, a living thing, typically an animal or a person. In this case, a fairy is a small version of a person to most people. We make an energy into this form, anthropomorphic, making it into the form of a person. In order for us to enable our understanding of it, if we can only express our sense of reality in terms of what we know, then we have to turn everything into that. Or we can't talk about it, we can't understand it, we can't know it. And so in ancient times, when they were trying to get a sense of subtle energies and the zeitgeist, the time spirit, what's going on right now energetically or atmospherically in the mood of the moment, everybody knows that moments have moods. Morning really does feel very different from mid-afternoon, doesn't it? We don't have to go into politics and social statements to know that every single moment has got a different atmosphere. And that's part of its magic, that's part of its spell, that's part of the ingredients that make up the events of that moment, is the atmosphere which gives rise to the events. And that atmosphere is not measurable. It's not something a scientist can actually tell you is different in this way exactly from that one yesterday. They can't do that. But we can. Each of us knows that a certain feeling is comparable to another one. We have a great deal of access to these subtle realities. Now, the king of the fairies is the king, the master, the boss of that type of world. So the king of the fairies is somebody who has trained himself or herself to become familiar with the energy of fairies, whatever fairies are. You could call them elves or nature spirits or whatever you wanted to call them. It's energy forms that don't have physicality and of a certain type. It's present within all the cultures. In Islam, it's known as the jinn, or one of the versions of the jinn spirits. In China, they think of hardly anything else but the spirits of things, don't they? And India, the same thing. It's universal. So what we're trying to do is to give a name and an image, a form to subtle realities. And the king of the fairies is the best of this. Now, he's dreaming of fairies. This question of dreaming is interesting to look at. When we go to sleep, we have dreams, and usually we are passive in respect to the dream. We receive dreams. We don't create them. But there is a technique that we can learn. It's called lucid dreaming, where we do create what we dream. We can actually develop the subtlety and power and clarity of mind to such a level that we can take it into the unconscious realms, such as sleep, and decide what to think in our unconscious realms. Obviously a very advanced spiritual practice. Not very many people try to do this. But if you do try, you get better, like everything. So the king of the fairies is able to enter his dream space and create realities. Now, this is not just a casual way of having a good time when he's sleeping. It's how we create the future. Those of us that expect the future to be hard and disappointing, that's the future that we're dreaming. Those of us who actually expect life to be better than it was before, we're optimistic, we're looking for an improvement in our life circumstances, and we're doing work in order that that should happen, and we expect it to happen. We're dreaming a better future. And the king of the fairies is the one who actually can dream the best future. This is what king of the fairies means to me.